Well, we have a draft here. NONGSHIM are moving to the blue side as expected. We didn't get any crazy kind of counter pick with Kingen in game 1, especially because you know, Jace and Rumble were open, so it just makes sense. And now he's on the blue side, so it's not even like you're going to be in a good spot unless the top laner is picked early. We'll see, you know, maybe they leave something up that is high tier like a Gwen, and then they try to counter pick that. But for now, we're going to have Nefiri banned and Vi. Vi definitely still the mainstay on the red side ban. Still the most banned champion at the LCK.
Yeah, so in this situation, probably like Vi, Gwen, Yone from BNK FEARX is maybe, I mean, maybe they're not concerned about the Yone with the Azir gone. Maybe that was that was why they banned it. Maybe they have to ban the Varus actually on 3.
Yeah.
I feel like you can be so much more targeted with your bans on blue side. And with Nefiri gone, and the Xin Zhao gone, and the Pantheon gone, you know, maybe like Wukong is one of those bruiser junglers that are still prioritized a decent amount. We are still seeing Skarner and Sejuani, but I feel like less so. I feel like we have been very much focused around these sort of bruiser picks. Ashban comes through, you know, wanting to remove one of those ranged options. Are they trying to really force the Varus ban here? I mean, I feel like there are picks that are still playable into Varus that are available. We're still very early. And, like, neither Kalista or Kai'Sa really has fun into Varus. So I'm not... We haven't removed any of the matchups that are good necessarily to him, but they'll still take it off the cards and remove that one.
Yeah, I think especially with Jiu not playing his best game nowadays, could have considered it, but they're just going to give respect to the pick itself. What is going to be the first pick here from the side of NONGSHIM? Yone available.
Yeah, they will just look to pick it up. Calyx feeling confident on that one. If they do secure this, honestly, I feel like a Poppy Talia rotation could be kind of crazy. Instead, looking towards his Sion. You know, the Jace is gone. We've often seen Sion picked in a Jace, but maybe thinking, you know, what answer do they have necessarily to the Sion pick? I guess you could probably just go on Bessa if you're Kingen into it. Or, you know, Gnar also fine. And I still think Talia pretty high priority, and you'd be happy to play it into the Yone. Instead, looking towards the Lucian.
Okay. You know, I said earlier that I was very happy with BNK's drafting nowadays. The Blind Scion with a lot still available, and the Lucian priority, not exactly very high on my tier list.
Yeah, Lucian Scion, certainly a rotation.
It's not very tier list, but also they're not very known to like work amazingly well together. They don't take away the Sejuani either.
Oh, like Sejuani. Oh, and they're going to go the Elise as well. I was thinking Sejuani and Bessa, but Sejuani, Elise. That combination, you can see Lehen's laughing. Like, you can stack up the Sejuani passive so quickly. This is a trio that works so well together. We are seeing the Milio come in. Really good synergy with the Lucian, one of his better pairings. And that removal of CC, very powerful into the Sejuani and the Elise.
Yeah. I think it's definitely much better than the Lucian Nami, which unfortunately we were seeing popping up once again.
Lucian Nami was so much about the interactions with the items that came through, right? And it was about that burst potential. That's gone. Let it go, okay? Lucian Milio, very different, more so around the fact that you give Lucian a lot of freedom, you give him that mobility. It's very easy to proc his passive as well. Much more stain damage focused, which is why during the older meta it wasn't as effective, I'd say, as Lucian Nami. But now, if you're going to play Lucian, I think it's one of the good pairings. The other one would obviously be the Braum, but I think the Milio pickup here makes a lot of sense. We do see the Lilia banned away. I think NONGSHIM thinking, right, they'll want a more carry-focused jungle with the Scion. BNK FEARX ban away the Jax in this situation, I think it's the fine ban, but I still think there's a lot of picks that Kingen can go for in this situation.
I think they're just banning away, you know, top-tier melee top laners at this point to go with the Sejuani. Stuff that could work into Scion, given enough time, but as you're kind of alluding to, there are a lot of things that you can still pick in a Scion. The Annie ban, which has popped up after some recent buffs. I think Vikla also has a game on it, so not a bad choice. It does feel like it's a little bit from left field, but with mid pick still available,
I think they could go Talia, they could go Victor. I think there's still very good options for the mid lane here. Maokai coming in. Little odd, I would say.
Doesn't Poppy just feel really good into what you're looking at?
Well, my issue is, because the thing is, you have this Lucian, Lucian is not a hyper carry, right? He is the only damage threat they have so far. And you're gonna play a mid laner into Elise, Sejuani, Yone, who, if I know Lahens, is gonna gank you no matter what.
Yeah.
And the safe mid option is like Azir, who's gone. So I'm really curious as to what Vikla's gonna bring out to round out this composition. But I'm very concerned, if I'm gonna be real.
Oh no.
The Tristana. We haven't seen it for a while. You know, it's decent into Yone. Definitely has the sustained damage output they need, but this is a composition where you're so it's very hard to have an early game setup where you win a skirmish based on the champions you're bringing. That's my big concern with this composition.
Yeah, it's a very confusing one. Maokai is your EP source. We'll see how that works out for you as we're getting into game number 2, NONGSHIM versus BNK.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다. 미니언 생성까지 30초 남았습니다.
I do wonder if Diablo was like, pick me Lucian. We're playing Lucian Milio. We're crushing scrims nowadays.
Maybe I was too harsh. Okay, here's the cope, right? I said mid jungle. For Yone Sejuani, it's very good, but actually Maokai Tristana, not the worst. I think that is a potential avenue. But the bot 2v2, I actually think if played well, BNK FEARX can find an advantage there. Maybe jungle 80 carry support is the angle. Maybe they have to just play through bot.
It is Diablo.
He is pretty good.
And at first...
Oh, are they going for some cheese? I love it.
I mean, I guess so. A late invade on the red. Maokai just wandering in. And this is a great way to allow your Lucian Milio to play very aggressively.
All in a bot, baby. Double or nothing.
This is like...
Double or nothing?
Diablo or nothing, yeah. It really is. It's just, okay, we're playing around Diablo. Either he carries us or we lose.
Nice.
And Vicla's an 80 carry too. Maybe he can do something.
Oh, I love this. I love this so much. Harry already been.
I mean, the draft we weren't sure about. But if you're going to play like this, you're feeling pretty good. Let's see how it goes to go in on the Jew. There's the Q, and he just accepts fate. He says, no, I'm dead. And that is the kill over to Diablo at 2 minutes in.
You know, a lot of drafts can be resolved by just getting enough of a lead. So just do that, you know. Great play set up here. They get the 80 kill in the Jiwoo. And the fact is, you saw from how Jiwoo Lahens were playing, they wanted to be aggressive. They were like, yeah, we're gonna challenge. We even burnt the barrier to try and have an advantage in the trade. And it ended up backfiring. Now level 2 achieved for Diablo. Big spike for the Lucian. And Vikla also, you saw him warding, defending Raptors. Obviously the concern was maybe we would get a invade coming in from Gideon. Not sure what happened there, that Vikla had the flash. I don't know if he rocket jumped in aggressively. We didn't get to see the full picture, but any time a Tristana is forced to flash like that, you're like, okay, well, something happened here. And now
any Raptor fights?
Is Raptor going to fight for his Raptors, or does he just not care?
That is the question. It's like he just doesn't care. It's just the Raptors after all. He's got himself.
Yeah.
So he can run this way and just put a treant in the brush and a ward.
No prio mid or top, so Gideon will get a little bit spooked. But Raptor's like, you know what? I got Diablo ahead. If you want that red buff, you can have it. And Gideon's like, nah, I'm good.
I'd rather not expend the energy.
He already took Raptors.
That is the main prize. He might be able to double scuttle too. Depends on... Okay, no, he's just going to go straight at the red buff.
Raptor's about to get it. He will get it in time. It's fine.
We'll see how the smite fight does go. Oh, it goes to Gideon, and now Raptor's super low. Pass to just Q and flash.
Why is King in there?
King in through the turret, takes down Raptor. And yeah, he was just proxying right in the right position.
Yeah, so sometimes you might see, like, you know, let's talk about priority and how important it is. This is a great example of why.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to get a Cocoon in on the Diablo. Do they have the damage? Well, they're going to trade kills for now, but the kill just go over to Kellen. And, ooh, even the knockback as well. Lahens. Million doesn't do much.
What's the funniest thing about this? In so many situations, we saw this last game, right? The early dive, where the kills are traded and both supports got them. You know why usually supports get the kills in those situations? Because of Ignite.
Yeah.
But in this situation, Diablo has Ignite, so he got the kill. So he got the kill gold.
Yeah.
And there wasn't actually that much of a wave for him to miss. This was just... Raptors not had a good day. Even though they won game one, Raptors kind of been struggling. And you know, I think he made the right call, saying, I'm just going to let it go. And then he made the wrong call by not letting it go. And here, you know, Lahens wasn't the one who ended up getting aggro.
Kellen got the kill, by the way. With his auto.
Oh, okay, never mind. Oh, yeah, because Diablo had the kill from earlier. Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm just trolling, ignore me.
I mean, I think it's still a good point, even though it didn't pan out that way this time.
I was just wrong. Don't try and defend me, Brendan.
Just absolutely wrong. Diablo now in a really rough spot, has to flash away, but the follow flash here from Gideon is good, and that is a free kill over to the Elise. Lahens now 2-0, down on the bottom side.
Yeah, not sure about that one from Diablo. Maybe a little bit overconfident. Maybe hoping that his Kellen was level 6. Maybe like he was just hoping that out of nowhere he'd be able to ult him. Maybe he had Mikhail's already. Seemingly not the case.
So Vikla gonna get hit by the ult somehow, just running in a straight line, and that is going to be Calyx setting up the kill for Lahens, again, who has 3 kills.
What is happening this game? Like, how does Vikla never have his rocket jump in these situations? You know, what is he doing with? We always just tune in.
Right as he's dying, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, what happened? You know? It's just, I'm left a little perplexed. We just need more context. Additional context is needed.
So NONGSHIM from this lead with this draft, surely they can close out this game.
Surely. I mean, it's the fact that he dashed in and then he's hanging around like, yeah, I've got him in the bag. Raptor's here, and he's not really, he's like miles away. And then Kellen, you know, I guess...
Oh, we're diving again, by the way, looking for Kellen. It looks like this time Lahens getting pretty low, but he is Elise, and Kellen actually gets away. I don't know how they managed to let him get away that time.
Able to survive, showing some of the power between this Melio Lucian, a lot of healing, a lot of shielding, and also just the constant procs of the Lucian getting a lot of value. Raptor is going to take this opportunity. He's like, oh, thank God. Gets to steal away some camps.
By the way, this is not the Baus. It is just clear at the inhibitor turret.
Taking some inspiration.
Yeah. I mean, he's got his Maokai in there. Maokai just backs. There's like,
no,
oh, hello.
Clay, you need to get out. Clay, I'm being serious.
For real this time. Oh, he's going to use the disengage cone. He knew.
Oh, the ult to block the stun.
That works too.
Flawless play. Cowards, he shouts.
Yeah.
He ults away.
And, I mean, he is ahead on farm right now, barely, on Kingen. I guess that's good. The Scion priority was extremely high, and they even used 2 top bans as well to try to get clear a better lane so that he didn't have to play into Camille or Jax, which they managed to do. But Kingen's just playing his world's MVP Aatrox instead. So,
yeah.
Raptor trying to take Raptors back.
Also, it's a pretty short-range composition from BNK FEARX. So, like, this is prime Aatrox spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jax would have been really good if they knew the Tristana was coming through. So there is that, but
also it's a very AD-heavy composition from BNK FEARX.
Yep.
When Kingen gets a Death Dance, well, it'll just be called Dance because he won't be dying.
Yeah. Also, when Sejuani, yeah, that's it. They're not going to do damage to Sejuani. Raptor, once again, just kind of... This game is weird, man. I don't know what's going on. And now they're just going to turn on to Vikla.
Guys, how does he not have his rocket jump again?
Didn't see it coming this time. And now Diablo, no dash. He's just dead. And they're going to give that kill over to Kalix. Just going for a little walk in the bottom river, it seems.
How is he dying as a Tristana?
You know, I wish I had the answers, but I don't. I don't, Ox.
Just jump away. I have no. The thing is, we're missing this context, and I'm just so confused. I'm just so lost. How does he keep putting himself into this situation?
That one, it seemed like he was just. I don't know. Like he was surprised by the Sejuani, maybe coming out of the darkness. No. He
has vision on Gideon. He sees Gideon. Press W. What? What else is that to say?
That's the extent of our analysis, guys, because that's literally all you can say. He saw him, he walked up, he didn't respect, and yeah, he's obviously trying to time buffers, and he's just mistiming them. Like, Tristana isn't a mainstay like she used to be. We see her every so often.
Things you don't even need a time buffer with Sejuani, just press W.
Yeah.
You know, I get it if it's like the Yone. Like the Yone, you know, you have to time it right.
Yeah.
We've seen some great timings in the past where, like, you know, things like timing the Vial. Like, some of our players make it look easy, but it's not like the easiest thing to get right. But you could have just pressed W at like any point there and you're chilling. So, I don't know, Vikla. Not the best Tristana. The thing is as well, it was this final Tristana pick where I was like, okay, what are they going to bring out to make the whole draft work? What's going to come through, really solidify what BNK FEARX has picked? And I'm not feeling it so far. I'm really not feeling it.
Yeah.
Not going so hot. Diablo 1 and 3, Vikla 0-2. These are your carries in this game. Game is not going super swimmingly.
Yeah.
The carry for NONGSHIM, though.
Exactly.
Lahens. Oh, no.
The main carry is the Elise in this game.
Lahens has just said, look, you guys didn't do enough with your gold leads last game. I am taking the gold lead this game.
Yeah, I mean, at least Elise is one of those supports where you don't feel so bad giving gold over.
That is exactly what Lahens said to his team when he took those kills.
You guys don't feel too bad giving me the kills, right? I'll just take them.
He was like, no, it's okay, my young.
Yeah, so we'll see what Lahens can do. I think, you know, with Protobelt, he's going to be hopping on people and setting up plays. See who the Drake is this time. Chemtech does come up, so it's not Chemtech Soul. Perhaps a Cloud? No, just Ocean.
Honestly, not a terrible Ocean game, because it will just become ridiculous. The amount of like sustain, like it's actually going to be so hard for them to kill NONGSHIM if they get Ocean Soul.
I don't think they were going to be able to kill NONGSHIM before. Oh, he did it! He did it! And now he might just die anyway, but no, he's tanky enough. And you know what? Third time's the charm. Vikla gets away.
Rocket Jump is just OP. This it's a shame he only got it at level 9. Maybe he should have skilled it earlier, but yeah. I mean, okay, I'm a little harsh, but you know, Vikla did what he needed to do. Just do that more often and you're good.
Yeah. That's what the Tristana is here for, you know? Play it safe up against the Yone. Make sure you don't die to Sejuani ganks, and you should be swimming. And now we got a Culling coming out. And Root comes down on a Diablo. He's in a lot of trouble now, has to dash away. Lahens thinking about going into you, trying to follow up, gets the flash out of Diablo as well.
A lot in by BNK FEARX. I feel like maybe Diablo could have just flashed a little sooner there, ended up kind of hanging around trying to save the flash and then flashed anyway. It's one of these situations where he's like, I don't need to be in the summoner, and then ends up being the summoner and ending up in a worse position. Yes.
He's here! He's here, chat! He's in the bot lane.
Thank you, Sion. Your contributions are appreciated.
Hey, you got a plate.
There you go. That's what he's here for. That is the only reason he came bot. You saw that plate low?
No.
No. You saw that little zoom in, Jonas Strong?
Yeah.
That wasn't intentional, by the way. I want to make it very clear. That was just an innate reaction when Jonas Strong sees a cannon being missed.
Yeah.
Like, he just, like, hunched over his chair and what?
I don't know, man. It's not a good day for him. He's trying He's trying his hardest. Uh-oh. Q1, he has to flash. I'm not even sure if he had to flash, but
you know what? I'm really glad we saw that because I feel like I learned a lot about what's been going for wrong in Vikla this game. We caught it on camera. Thank you, Jonas. Jonas Strong recovered from seeing the cannon mist and showed us what we needed to know.
Yeah.
That is, if you're wondering why
he's the GOAT.
Why does he never have rocket jump? Now you know why he never has rocket jump.
He's fine.
He's okay.
He's out.
He's gonna repel out.
So, you know, Vikla was struggling in game 1. He fell down pretty low, and he looked quite tilted on the camera. I do wonder if he's just kind of a bit out of it, because obviously, you know, I think he's a better player than this. I think he's a better Tristana than this, but he's not really showcasing that, so a bit unfortunate. And again, like you mentioned, they really need him, because he is one of the other guys that can actually do damage in this game. And a ton of damage from the culling here from the Lucian. Lahen's also tanking a bit of that.
Yep. You've seen the Echoes of Helia come out from Kellen. You don't see this item too much, but it really syncs well with the Milio and with the Lucian because you can proc it so often and get a ton of value. So it's actually a pretty strong one-item spike right now from these two. You know, normally, I mean, G was a little behind, doesn't have the Bloodthirster yet, but normally, like, MF is really hard to push out of mid, but we're seeing Diablo and Kellen kind of getting to the point with a spiking a good amount. But yeah, as you said, mid lane, a bit behind, and especially, you know, I mean, this is the Tristana build. I'm not saying you shouldn't go this build, but when you go the Yuntal Wild Arrows, you're investing in a spike that comes later because you need to stack it up. So it's really like, at some point, if the game doesn't get any worse, Vikla will be relevant.
Yeah.
That's a big if.
They have that late game hyper carry in the Tristana. They have Lucian, who, I mean, he does a ton of burst damage. I was actually co-streaming Challengers, and I saw one of the guys take Electrocute Lucian, which was interesting, but...
You had that in the LCK as well when it was Lucian.
Yeah.
I mean, it went terrible.
it did as well in Challengers.
Nice,
but
nice.
It's interesting. I do like the PTA a lot better.
Yeah, I think as well with this combination with the Milio, you're not like useless in the late game or anything. You are a solid threat. The problem is I'm just concerned how short range you are into this comp of NONGSHIM. It's very hard to play. And now they're gonna lose a mid tier 1.
Yeah. Mid tier 1 goes down. NONGSHIM gonna do that. And this time Lahen's actually has an angle for another charge.
Okay, he's going.
He's gonna get it. He's done this before.
The thumbs up.
The thumbs up, yeah.
Where...
Yeah, saw a rocket jump there. Vikla did get away.
Nice, good rocket jump.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now it's
that.
over a 4,000 gold lead for NONGSHIM. Dragon's coming up, they're probably going to take that. This game is looking pretty good for NONGSHIM. Pretty not so good for any teams who aren't called NONGSHIM in this game right now.
Yes. Team BNK FEARX. He used it again. He got away.
Yeah.
It's getting better as the game does come along. Still struggling a bit. You know, he's being pushed out of lane, and he's not having a fun time farming an Aatrox. It is Ocean Soul points given for free to NONGSHIM.
Very early as well, you know. I think at some point, even though Ocean Soul does scale with like your health, your AD, your AP, I think like the earlier you get like an Ocean Soul, the more obnoxious it is because you just don't have the damage. You know, if you're at the point of the game where your AD carry is doing like 600, 700 damage crits, the healing's not a big deal. But if they end up getting like a 22-minute Ocean Soul, that like Vikla's gonna have what, like 2 items by then? Like, will he even be able to out-damage the Ocean Soul?
It's a good question. I think that BNK have really hunkered down for the late game at this point. You can see they're not fighting over anything. I do say that though, and Raptor and Clear are bot, but nobody else is here. And we do have TP available from King, and will they utilize it is the question. Oh, flash this time by Vikla, and they might just have the damage. There's the smash from Clear.
Oh, they're being collapsed on though. Clear is dead.
Yeah, they're just gonna give over their Scion. And now they're trying to turn it, actually. Gio and Lahen's in a really rough spot, and Gio's just free! This looks a lot like game number 1, actually. The flash engage from Raptor as well. Ult comes out, but it's Melio. And now Clear, he's still alive somehow on the back line. The follow-up comes in and Aatrox is left alone. Nobody's even helping him. Tries to dash away, and it's a shutdown to the struggling Tristana, who hops over the wall. Vikla able to get another kill and ends up with 3 kills in the fight.
Unprecedented levels of throwing from NONGSHIM this series. I was just ready to call the game. How? How have they got to this position? And you know what it is? The desk talked about this, the space talked about this. They said they're just not willing to let a play happen. They could have just let Calyx die here and defended the tower. But instead, they opt into this situation. You know, like I'm like, okay, Clear's probably dead. But look what happens. So G1 and Hen start to get collapsed on. And again, they're like, oh wait, we need to save them. So like Kingen, the flash comes out, Kingen's leaving. Gideon's like, well, I can't kill him. So they gotta help their team. And then King gets ulted away, Gideon flash ults, gets cleansed. And they're like, oh wait, now we're in the 2v5. It's just a comedy of errors. And BNK FEARX do exactly what their comp does. They stick as a 5-man death ball and they left click people. Their comp is phenomenal at that. And that was all they needed to do in that situation. I am amazed. It's now a 400 gold lead for NONGSHIM. And the thing is, Lehen's had a shutdown, so Vikla got like 600 gold of Lehen's. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It is insane.
Look at the gold graph. How is this? How did that happen again?
I don't know, man. This game is just, it's just wild. Like it feels like game 1, but it just happened later.
It's genuinely
the same
impressive.
throw, but later.
I am flabbergasted that this.
Yeah, IE. Yeah, he is IE.
Look at Vikla's items. He has a 1.5k gold lead over Calyx. He has IE and Yuntal.
I don't know how he managed that.
Masterminds. Just they saw the lines. I didn't see the lines. They saw the lines.
I mean, clearly BNK were just waiting for any moment for NONGSHIM to make a mistake. They set up a nice play though in the bot lane.
Yeah, like,
right? They got the kill. That was good.
Credit to BNK FEARX. They set up the play. They made it happen. But like that should have been a kill at most. That should not have been all of those kills.
Yeah.
They should have killed Calyx
and then traded.
And then it just, yeah, I don't know.
And we would have maintained about a 4,000 gold lead for NONGSHIM.
You know, even Gen G makes mistakes, but when they make mistakes, they're willing to just cut it loose and just say, okay, we lost one person, that's fine. They don't lose the entire team. Usually, at least. So yeah, Dragon coming up in a minute. Arakan is up and available. But the gold is now even, and there's some big... If you look at the carries, this is the important thing. The carries on the side of BNK FEARX have 2 items. Those on NONGSHIM don't. Okay, they've just gotten a second there for Calyx. But like the Maokai, you know, who's behind, he has Locket Frozen Heart. He's good to go.
Yeah.
The Scion who's behind, he has Sunfire Thornmet. He's good to go.
Yeah.
He just doesn't... And you know, I talked about there being a lack of AP damage of BNK FEARX. You know which other team has lack of AP damage? NONGSHIM. And they're playing in a Scion Maokai.
Yeah. Scion Maokai that are just building armor. And, you know, a support Lehen's not going to be able to do too much. Diablo does get chunked, though. And trying to take down Gideon here. It's a lot of health on that Sejuani, but they get that first kill. Calyx is also low. And now Claire just trying to back away from this one. Calyx goes in once again. But that is a Scion who does not take damage from Yone and MF.
Yeah, and with Jungler dead, are you really going to risk going for this? They are.
I guess so.
This is a dangerous game to play. King and Lehen's set a trap. Vikla.
Oh, good read, and now Lehen's is just dead. It's just another kill. Raptor, though, is going to go down, and now the turn comes in. Melio, Kellen is out, Diablo's down. And somehow NONGSHIM able to turn this one, but that is going to be a kill on the Yone. It's getting real messy. Kingen, really the one guy who can do a lot to you as well. And that is 3 kills over, 2 to you, and 1 over to Kingen. And they get aced.
They regain the composure, they get the Ocean Soul. It's a big win for the side of NONGSHIM. They can probably just pick up the Arakan as well after this. Just when things start to get a little bit loopy, they manage to find an angle back in. And the big thing is that the health bars get very low for BNK FEARX here. Diablo takes a ton of damage initially on this play. And yes, they get Gideon, but like Raptor's low, Diablo's super low. Claire, although he survives, does take a lot of damage. And I think really this is why things start to go wrong. And also, because Calyx starts up the Dragon, he gets to stack up his Q. So when he engages out of this, he has his Q ready to go, catches both of them. Vikla with a nice rocket jump does survive, but the cleanup does come through.
And they commit for the kill on the Yone, but like Aatrox and MF are full health basically, and they have 3 carries, whereas you only have 2. Diablo was dead very early on. It was all up to Vikla.
I think Vikla could have jumped out the pit, recalled, and maybe TP'd back. I'm not sure if he would have been able to stop the dragon, but maybe stop the Arakan. Instead tries to go for the trade kill and just dies. But yeah, I mean, at the end of this, the Ocean Soul and the Arakan stat boost, pretty big. 28 flowers for NONGSHIM. They found King.
Looking for a pick here. It's only Vikla on the damage, and he's in melee range of an Aatrox.
Does he take damage? I believe not.
Yeah, he does not. King in his full health. TPs are coming in. Kellen is kind of awkwardly in the pit. He's got a little bit of help from his team, but they're not really escorting him out, so he's just going to die. Clear as well on the left side, being isolated, and he is just left to die. Vikla trying to get out of this one, but he doesn't have his flash, and Kalish is able to flash over and get the kill. So now it's BNK's turn to kind of get in wonky spots, and NONGSHIM are able to capitalize on that.
Kingen just aura farming with his skin, I guess. Yeah, I think the problem is here, they already struggled to cut through Kingen, but now he has Ocean Soul. I just don't think they have the damage yet. They need, like, not only healing reduction, but also armor pen on these carries. And right now, Baron looking to be picked up by NONGSHIM. With the Ocean Soul as well, I mean, they're just full HP, they don't take any damage from it.
Yeah, Raptor was like, maybe they let me in here for free?
I think the problem there as well, the fight was very scattered, and your comp only works if you have focused fire from both AD carries. So maybe the game not thrown away this time by NONGSHIM.
Yeah.
Worrying that it was even close, but they seem to have regained a good amount of control. They're pushing up to third tower. Any poke that lands on G was kind of irrelevant with Bloodthirst to Ocean Soul.
Yeah, he doesn't really take damage either, and unless they're able to get a full engage onto him with engaged Maokai. Vikla nearly dies, just existing against level 16 Calyx.
There's such a huge XP lead as well. You know, Baron plus the Arakan has really, you know, Calyx is 2 levels up, Jiwoo's 2 levels up. Everyone has at least 1 level lead.
NONGSHIM still over 2 minutes on this one. They're going to try to engage with the Scion. They don't really hit anything. Some roots come down on the front line, though, and maybe they have the damage, but the bullet time is gigantic. Vikla not really able to input his damage, but Kingen too close to the sun himself. But now NONGSHIM do fight back. Khaled gets back over, and that is the Otacon striking as well on top of them. And it looks like NONGSHIM might have broken the back of BNK here.
Yeah, I think the problem is Vikla and Diablo, like, sure, Claire takes a long time to go down and isn't really taking damage, but Vikla and Diablo are just getting chunked out by incidental damage, not even necessarily focused on them. And as soon as they get low, they can't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, you see Claire, he's trying to stand in front and help wave clear, but he's just a Scion. Like, he's not going to die, but he's not going to do much else in this point of the game. And might even just die to Yone, who is way out of control. Vikla just dying on the top side as well. So NONGSHIM take down game number 2 and tie up the series.
Good way for NONGSHIM to